Now, my next guest released her debut single back in 1981. And now Kim Wilde is back with even more fabulous new music. What's extraordinary, Kim Wilde, is that it's morphed from the 80s to that current album just at the end there. Yeah. And you look exactly the same. It's like no time has passed. You've still got the voice, the movements, everything. Do you still feel like you did back in the 80s in yourself?
Do you know, I feel better now than
I
did in the 80s. I do. This is a great time to be me in my 60s. Yeah,
I can't believe it.
I love it. And
you're ageless.
Bless you for saying
wonderful.
that.
And this music just sounds so wonderful. Tell us a bit about the album.
OK, so the album Closer is coming out at the end of January. And but today, all the details about the album, all the titles of the songs, the duet that I'm doing with Midjour, all of the information is available today online. So that's really exciting. So today's a big day, and the single Trail of Destruction is out. And yeah, we took a lot of inspiration from my original album, Close, from '88. And there's nearly a 40-year gap between that. But we looked to Close and we thought, you know, we want to do it all over again, but we're going to call it Closer. So anyway, we're just having fun with it and making pop music, which is what we love to do, together with my brother Ricky Wilde.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And also my niece Scarlett Wilde. So I mean, the generations of, you know, there are more generations.
Yeah, the musical talent is spread far and wide in your family.
It is.
Well,
yeah,
you know, when you look back at those iconic music videos, I mean, did you know can you remember filming them? Is it all a blur now? Can you remember this moment?
I do. I vividly remember it, and that was the first video I ever made. And I didn't know what I was doing, and so you know, it was. Look how naive I look. Actually, I look a bit like I know what I'm doing, but mostly I was really quite nervous and self-conscious.
Were you?
Those days. The video director was trying to ply me with wine to loosen me up a bit.
It was a different time back then. How old were you there?
I was 21 years old, yeah.
And we're playing it now in 2024. I mean, that's how iconic that stuff is. Did you know at the time, because you were absolutely, I mean, you were the pin-up, the icon of the 80s back then. And you still are, obviously.
One of them.
Yeah, but what was it like to be at the centre of that? I mean, you went on tour with Bowie, didn't you? I mean, you were at the centre of pop, the pop world.
Yeah, and it's where I feel really good, you know. I was brought up on pop music. I loved it from when I was a child. I grew up in the 60s. Of course, I was a teenager in the 70s, an amazing time for pop music. And then I got to be all grown up in the 80s and have my own brand of pop music. And now I get to be 60-something and do it all as well. It just doesn't leave you. It's really in my blood, and I know it's in the blood of my dad. You know, he's still touring and releasing records. So,
But I'll tell you something funny. I said to my makeup artist, I said, Kim Wilde's in. Should we need to talk about gardens?
Well, I love gardening.
And I said, no, it's music, actually, because for the last 15, 20 years, we've thought gardens, Kim Wilde.
I love gardens.
You won gold at the flower shows?
I did. I got a gold medal with Richard Lucas, my dear friend, and we got a gold medal at Chelsea Flower Show.
It's incredible what you've achieved.
There's a lot of life to be lived out then. But, you know, my heart keeps going back to pop music, and I'm really proud of this new album, Closer. It's not out until the end of January, but there'll be a few singles before then.
And you're touring as well.
And we're going to tour next year in March here in the UK.
And what have you found, like, the love and the re-emergence of love for the 80s is huge in the UK, isn't it?
Do you know what? I think the 80s almost is bigger now than it was in the 80s.
The 80s is bigger now than it was in the 80s. I love that.
It's incredible. You know, thousands and thousands of people come and see us. I was just at Rewind in Henley just the other day. There are over 20,000 people going crazy. It's an amazing time to be a part of the 80s decade. And I love the past, don't get me wrong, but I'm really excited about the future and the new records that we've got coming out in the coming months. So, yeah, really exciting times. Tour next March, album at the end of January, single out today.
It's all happening.
It's all happening,
And who's looking after your garden, then?
Well, you know, it's a quiet time in the garden right now.
Right, OK.
As gardeners know, unless you know, you've got an active vegetable garden, which luckily I've sidelined this year. I've had to, because it's been so much work, so much live work, and I've got an amazing band.
Love it.
Well,
you're thriving, Kim Wilde.
I am
It's absolutely
thriving.
wonderful to see you.
Thank you.
Good luck with the single, the tour next year.
Thank you.
It's wonderful. I'm sure we'll talk to you plenty of times before you're back on the road.
Absolutely.
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.